It didn't work.
No, no. Go ahead. So that can be quite.
Well, my comment is I've been to a number of the public hearings that the Youth Center Task Force has had, so I've been involved along the way, and I saw this pre-presentation, so I feel like I'm pretty familiar with it. I hope that you as a board choose to move forward, because I fully understand that this is a master plan, things will evolve as time goes on and the details get ironed out, but I personally think it's the right direction. I think it's a wonderful plan because it's inclusive, it is broad thinking, and it will move us forward quickly. Thank you.
I think that the task force did an excellent job. I applaud the fact that they used a professional team to put the design together. I've met with several members of the task force, and I've told all of them I'm in full support going forward of the entire project.
Excellent. Maria Elena.
I've met with them as well, and I'm very excited. I think it's a great addition for us.
Okay. So, Ed had mentioned he'll have a proposal to me by the end of the week. I'll get that out to you. It is anticipated that there's still quite a bit of money in the capital, so I don't believe that we'll have to increase that at this point. But anyway, I'll keep you posted. Anula, you had a resolution you wanted to offer.
I do. I have a resolution that looks at the short-term rental fees and offers a little bit of nuance to the owner-occupied short-term rentals versus the non-owner occupied short-term rentals. And I think that that is an important distinction that we ought to think about. And I want to put forth a resolution that establishes a clear fee structure for those SDRs. I'm happy to read it, it's very short. The resolution that I put together reads, now therefore be it resolved that effective January 1st, 2025, the fee structure for short-term rentals, SDRs in the town of Woodstock shall be as follows. Owner-occupied in-home SDR $250 per year, owner-occupied SDR with an accessory dwelling unit, that's an ADU, $350 a year, and non-owner occupied SDRs $450 per year. And also be it further resolved that all payments for SDR fees shall be made either in full or in quarterly installments, which is currently the case to my understanding.
Well, I'll second for purpose of discussion, but I was going to make a motion to table this. The reason being, and I'm not opposed to some structure like this. I haven't fully digested the numbers, but it seems like something I, in theory, could get, or it is something that I could get behind in theory, maybe some jiggling. The one thing I would bring up, though, is that sitting on the governor's desk is law that Michelle Hinchey has championed, just waiting for the governor's signature, which would allow us as towns to have what I guess amounts to a sales tax. If that comes through, then I would think that that would be the way to go. And I know you do mention that in here. So I'd like to hold off at least a couple of weeks, maybe to the next meeting, if you will.
Yeah, I'm good with that. And if we could get it on the calendar for that time, that'd be awesome.
Okay. So
If I may. Okay. So the one, well, the two things. The one is, I know the reason we went to quarterly installments this year was because the increase was a surprise to people and we didn't expect them to all have all the money right away. So it'd be nice to move to an annual, maybe next year is not the year to go to annual, maybe quarterly is still needed for next year, but I hope that we evolve back to annual because when people know what to expect, they'll have a better chance of doing it. And the other thing is, I think it's important that, I like I do think the definitions 1, 2, and 3 need to be a clear match with the current law, because right now the current law has 3 types. It does have 2 types of owner-occupied and 1 type of non-owner-occupied. I like your definitions, however, I think it's important that they are an exact match to the current law. So that's my other comment. But I really like the idea of the tiered approach, and I thank you very much for putting it forward.
Thank you.
So Melanie, just, if we can remember, we'll start the agenda for our next full meeting and just add a placeholder, STR fee amendment, or resolution.
What I can do is incorporate these changes, if everyone is okay with that, circulate it to the board prior to that meeting,
Perfect.
so that we can go through
Okay,
swiftly.
and in the meantime, if the governor does sign it, we can have a different conversation.
Yeah.
So if the governor signs the text, what would be a different conversation?
In my mind, I think we should have a tax because I've always maintained that's the fairest way. So if you have one individual, Chris rents it out 3 times a year and makes $500, he's gonna pay 1 or 2%, whatever we come up with. Somebody else is renting it out for 300 days out of the year, they're paying a fee based on that. So it's more equitable.
So that would replace this, I mean, if we had tax, we might not need this.
I would probably suggest that we have a nominal $25 inspection fee, and then it would be based on the sales tax.
As it gets approved.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I'd just like to say, I think the numbers are too high. You know, the $250 is, you know, some people are not getting that for their unit. The numbers are just too high. So please consider that as you're relooking at it. It's out of reach for some people who have STRs so that they can live here in Woodstock themselves.
I agree, I think the numbers should be a bit lower, so to help people.
okay, and Bennett, you said you have the resolution?
Yeah, I have a resolution. What was the link? Yeah, do you want me to start reading it, or do you want to take a look at it? It says, whereas New York State Department of the Environmental Conservation found that construction and demolition debris on Joe Carolus' property on Route 212 Saugerties contained cancer-causing chemical compounds. Whereas in court transcripts from the town of Shandaken, New York Justice Court, Vincent Canigliaro, the owner of 10 Church Road, New York, Woodstock, New York, and Gina Canigliaro and Joe Carolus stated under oath that the construction and demolition debris was delivered to 10 Church Road, Woodstock from Carolus' property in Saugerties during 2019 and 2020. Whereas Joe Carolus and Gina Canigliaro pled guilty and were convicted of violating Woodstock's solid waste law in Shandaken Court in 2022. Whereas a site comprised of dumped material is a dump and violates the Town of Woodstock zoning code, section 26049. Whereas the illegal Church Road dump owned by Vincent Canigliaro contaminated the private well of a neighbor, Pam and Frank Amy. Whereas the illegal 10 Church Road dump is located directly above an aquifer and within the bounds of the Town of Woodstock aquifer, which supplies Woodstock, New York with its municipal water. Whereas the chemical compound, PFOS, found to cause cancer, has been detected in the Town of Woodstock's municipal water since 2022. Whereas the health and safety of Woodstock's water is essential, and the Town of Woodstock law, section 26049, prohibits private dumps of any kind in Woodstock. Whereas 2 Woodstock council members, Maria Elena Conti and me, Bennett Ratcliffe, have called for the removal of all the construction and demolition debris at the illegal 10 Church Road dump since 2022. Whereas the Environmental Commission, led by Chair Alex Polizzo, and the Woodstock Human Rights Commission, led by Chair Salvador Altamirano Segura, advised the town board in 2022 and in 2023 in written statements to remove all contaminated construction and demolition debris from the illegal Church Road dump. Whereas Woodstock Town Board members Lauren Rose, Richard Hepner, and Reginald Earls recognize the critical importance of removing the said debris with expert remediation according to professional direction. Whereas Supervisor McKenna, on his official letterhead dated July 12, 2024, and signed by Council Member Anula Cordes, and non-appointed acting chair of the WEC, Aaron Moran, wrote to the New York State Attorney General that in addition to the potential impact to the immediate neighborhood aquifer, there is potential impact to the town aquifer. Whereas the town of Woodstock in July 2024, under Supervisor Bill McKenna's direction, submitted a motion to dismiss the Amy's lawsuit, which is a direct contradiction to the said communication sent to the Attorney General in July 2024 on behalf of the town of Woodstock. Whereas Council Member Anu Laportas also wrote in an official email to the Office of the Attorney General's Associate Director of Legislative Affairs, there is proof that the debris in whole is toxic, not just big pieces, all the small pieces. The property sits on town aquifer, whereas the town of Woodstock has a responsibility to uphold the New York State Constitution, which considers clean water to be a human right. Be it resolved that the town of Woodstock seek to immediately settle all legal claims brought by the lawsuit of Pam and Frank Amy in the 10 Church Road illegal dumping case. Be it also resolved that the town of Woodstock enforce Town Law 26049 and obtain a court order to enter the property and remove the debris from the 10 Church Road dump.
I'd like to second that. I have a statement that I'll make after public
Okay,
hearing.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Nay.
And then,
Thank you, Derek.
Wait, what was that?
dare you?
Two?
What? How dare you?
No, shush. This is bloody ridiculous.
Rebecca Turner.
Protector of our water.
Rebecca?
God help me. God help us all.
Holds the water count more than votes no.
Rebecca?
So, a couple thoughts on this. Well, one is, I thought the presentation was wonderful tonight. It was wonderful to see a lot of different people in this community, seem to chime in together and be really helpful and supportive of each other, and a board that is somewhat divided seems to be very united. I would try to remind all the members of our community, including our town board, which is a little torn on the subject of Church Road, to try and remember that we are a community and that I am hoping that people can be civil and work together. I can disagree with some of the people on this board. You know that, you and I have disagreed, including on Church Road, but I would request that everybody try to remain, and yeah, including myself, because I got a big mouth, I admit it. But I would remind everybody, including, you know, our town board members and the members of the community, to try and remain civil towards each other so that we can show a better face in the rest of America right now.
What's more civil than clean water?
That's all I like to say.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Lisa Grandelli.
Lisa?
she's still here?
Yeah.
Oh, there she is.
Oh,
Oh, come on up, Lisa.
Oh, we didn't do
Oh, you can do it right here.
I can't hear everything, so, and she wasn't getting up, so I thought it was just a comment. Okay, where do I go?
Right there's fine.
Anywhere, there's no microphone?
No microphone.
I'm waiting for my King song. No, I can't hear. Okay, I was here last week, and I was gonna sing a King song. And I just wanna warn people a little more, as much as I can, about Humpty Dumpty here. This is, I don't even consider him really a candidate, and I'm alone. And, this is such a, okay, so I just think that I need to just say it again, that Trump is a very dangerous man, and he's had a lot of problems. And how he ever became a candidate is beyond me. I'm sure there's a lot of Republicans rolling over in there, sleeping off their graves. And I think I might have said, try to get it right, Kamala Harris. I may have said it the way he says it, but that was only my innocence. It wasn't trying to disparage him. So again, this guy, this is Trump when he's young. This is his niece's book. There are other books. Okay, I'm a little nervous. I thought I was going to have to talk in front of all those people. Thank God some of them left. So So thank you, everybody, and, you know, vote what you need to vote. But don't get this guy in, or we're really in trouble. We're in enough trouble as it is.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chris Bailey?
Okay, I'm here as a representative of the Watchdog Group, Woodstockers United for Change, and I'm announcing that we are holding our own Citizens Town Hall on the water problems in Woodstock on October 9th at 6:30 p.m. here in this space. And nothing will be not answered. If that's the way to put it.
Urena Kinlan?
So I'm Urena, and I just really wanted to talk about that. I feel the history of this town and growing up here is everyone was always very passionate about their own feelings and thoughts and issues and what they really felt was important. And we don't all agree, and that's okay. And I know that we get really passionate about it, but I would appreciate if we could go back to a little more decorum and the way that we treat each other without intimidation, without like going to a place of you're ruining somebody and their whole work and life and job in a small town. That kind of behavior to me is like what's been happening on a national level of MAGA, what's happening in Ohio right now. And you can be passionate and really, I feel very strongly about certain issues myself, and I don't agree with everybody up here. But I also don't harass any one of these people on a regular, daily basis with intimidation. And I think we need to kind of rethink that the behavior, what's been going on here in town. And I appreciate if some of the leadership would talk to their folks about that as well and not egg it on. That would be great.
That should work both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jackie,
That's it?
that's it?
No, I want to talk, wait.
Can I have 30 seconds?
I want to talk.
You didn't sign up, Ben.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
All right, Carol, I'll give you 30 seconds and then.
30 seconds, okay, you'll
2 minutes, 2 minutes.
About 20 years ago, when we were designing the rehab of the police station, I mentioned to the architect that we needed to have a women's locker room. He did not put one on there, and he was like askance that I should even mention that. And but he did scribble something in, and we still don't have one for the police. There's one locker room, and I think one of the things we have to consider, you know, talking about the lawsuits, maybe if there was a women's locker room, Tiffany would have had someplace to do the, you know, draw enough her milk, and Phil wouldn't have had the opportunity to brag about catching Gabby alone in the locker room. And I think that's something that you really probably can address pretty quick.
Thank you, Carol. Annie?
So,
No.
I think that's great, the people that are really concerned about the water. I wish you would be here when they build the post office. Nobody knows what chemicals were put in there. When they built that post office, it was, there was a pond.
There was a wetland.
A wetland. And they pour so much, we don't know what, and it could be possible that has poisoned the water of Woodstock. So, you know, that's part of it, but the post office is also a big deal. So, I think it's good that, you know, we do that, but, you know, I think the post office did more damage than everything else. And the other thing, I really want to find out why do we have the flags still on the streets. People are asking me, I mean, we're such a nationalistic town that we have to have the American flags up.
Beautiful.
Huh?
They look beautiful.
No, they look beautiful for you, but not for everybody.
Okay, thank you, Fanny.
Okay? Thank you.
Anula.
Okay, this statement is for folks in the room, and I'm going to attempt to project for those who will watch this on YouTube. Can you hear me okay? As many of you know, there's been significant discussion surrounding the 10 Church Road issue, and it's divided our town in ways that are deeply concerning. On one side, we have the DEC, that's the Department of Environmental Conservation, and our town attorneys saying that there's no evidence of an environmental hazard. Therefore, there's nothing that the town can do. On the other side, people are concerned because the dirt in question came from Saugerties, raising doubts about its safety. The challenge that the town has faced for years is that the town cannot act on laws that are unenforceable without clear, solid evidence from the DEC or another state authority. We are not in a position to ignore the guidance of the DEC or the advice of our legal counsel. We must proceed with caution and within the framework of the law. That said, I understand how important this issue is to all of us. That's why I chose to reach out to the highest legal authority in New York State, the Attorney General's office. First, I invited Attorney General Letitia James to visit our town, see our beautiful surroundings, look firsthand at our water sources, and meet the people of Woodstock. Second, I expressed the serious concerns this issue has caused in our community, how it has turned neighbors against neighbors, friends against friends. Lastly, I asked for the Attorney General's help in this matter and requested that we be included in the Saugerties case that her office brought to closure successfully. These steps represent my commitment to addressing this issue head-on. I continue to be actively involved with the town and with the Attorney General's office, which has some of the best environmental attorneys in the country. I'm speaking for myself as a council member. Once I receive their guidance and input, I will bring a recommendation back to the town. I understand how emotional and how important this topic is for all of us in our community, and I will continue to work with the town, the DEC, and the Attorney General's office to ensure that we have the right people involved and the facts at hand. I will also be sharing more details with the community in Hudson Valley One through a point of view article. So to those who have placed their trust in me, thank you. I will do my best to keep you informed every step of the way.
Thank you. Motion adjourned.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.